I'll sync it up right now. Ready?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, I forget that those things are meant to like sync shit up, you know?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, howdy. Welcome to another episode of How to Get Here. I got my good friend, longtime friend, about
Month, 2 months.
Mr. Fellow comedian and good old boy Maverick McWilliams
Hello.
with me here today.
Yeah. Oh, this feels good.
Coming to you live from our
Studio.
real high production studio.
It's definitely in his buddy's living room.
I mean, I pay rent here.
Okay, it's all right, and it's technically a studio, I guess.
I think I have the rights to use it, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
Dude, how funny would that be? He just like your buddy walks in and you're just filming porn in here. And you're like, "Dude, I pay rent. What are you talking?" Oh,
I'm sorry. I thought we lived in America.
I read that fucking lease agreement and it said nothing about shooting dirty movies in the garage.
It's the third time that something like this happened. I'm tired of getting kicked out.
I'm tired of getting. I'm contacting my fucking lawyer, dude. I'll tell you what.
Had enough of this shit.
Oh man, this is a nice place, dude. I like this part of Texas, dude.
Yeah, I'm about a week in here. I moved in about a week ago. Hanging around San Marcos. I used to live in New Braunfels a while back,
Oh yeah.
and so this is kind of like a coming home almost. Like a lot of familiar faces and a lot of nice businesses I like to frequent.
Dude, this is a fun part of the Austin area, I guess, you know, between here and San Antonio, because Austin kind of sucks a little bit for guys like us, because it's like, hey, do you want to go play pickleball? And I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to go play pickleball. They're like, hey, do you want to go to Worst Fest? I'm like, yeah, I want to go drink a bunch of beer and eat fucking hot dogs and shit like that. That sounds like a good time, dude. But I mean, it's just I like it down here more than I like it in Austin.
What are some like typical city activities?
Some city activities.
Hey, you want to go butt fuck with me and my straight friends? We're not gay.
Yeah, but hey, you want to bang my girlfriend for me? I'm like, whoa, you gonna be there? Be like, oh yeah. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that one. Dude, a lot of people are like, hey, let's go to the green belt. Let's go hiking. I'm like, I don't want to walk in the woods unless I'm hunting something,
Yeah.
you know? Or they'll be like, hey, let's get on these scooters. Those scooters are fun as fuck, but I mean, I just seen too many white girls just fucking eat shit off of them, you know? Yeah. What are some city activities that you don't fuck with?
It's not that I don't fuck with it, it's just strange for me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like planning to walk every single place.
Oh yeah, fuck
you wanna
that.
go. I'm not against it, but I'm like, no, usually when I'm like, hey, you want to go to town? It's like 45-minute trip. We ain't walking that much.
No, fuck no, dude. Yeah, I mean, dude, I hate walking. I'm gonna be honest, dude. Walking's the fucking worst. But it is funny when someone's like you're at a bar in Austin. They're like, hey, let's go to this other bar. I'm like, all right, cool. Should we get an Uber or something? Like, no, it's only a mile. I'm like, so we should get 2 Ubers or what the fuck should we do, man? You know?
You're like, dude, and not only that I don't want to walk, but I want to eat my tacos quick in the back seat.
Exactly.
I've done that. College Station, Texas. Anybody familiar with College Station, Texas out there? From Northgate to Hurricane Harry's, it's like maybe a mile, more or less. And I ordered an Uber, and my friends were like, "What are you doing?" Because people walk that all the time.
Sure.
And my buddies were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I ordered an Uber." They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "So I can eat my fucking tacos in peace. Like I want to sit down and eat tacos, but I also want to go to the other bar."
Right.
And I have it on video actually doing that little taco trip we took.
Dude, I'll tell you what. From Creek in the Cave to Black Rabbit is about as far as I want to walk in Austin.
Black Rabbit? I don't think I know that one.
It's like where Sunset Strip is. It's on the next block south.
Shit.
So it's like, I mean, it's about 3/4 of a mile walk, and it's not that bad at all. And because you know you get to see shit and stuff like that. You know, you get to see all these people with the goddamn snakes and stuff down there on fucking 6th Street.
Ain't that a weird one? Like, hey,
Dude.
I own snakes. Pay me money to take pictures with them.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, these drunk bitches are over here like, can I hold your snake? And I'm like, fuck that, dude. I ain't snake people, you know?
Can I hold your snake? You're like, yeah, what's your number?
Yeah, tonight,
here?
like in your mouth or just your hand? All right, I guess we're in middle school, I guess. Whatever, dude. But, yeah, dude, growing up, like it's, growing up in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico, it's kind of funny because nobody I know fucks with snakes. None of my friends are like, dude, look at this cool boa. I'm like, no, that's the devil, dude. That's Satan incarnate.
My chickens.
Yeah, dude, fuck you, dude. That thing's trying to bite my ass. I'm just trying to have a picnic. And, it's funny growing up there and everybody's like, you know, nobody I know fucking owns snakes. And then you come to Austin and people are like, "Did you see those giants?" I'm like, "Dude, I'll make a pair of boots out of that motherfucker. Get out of here. I don't fuck with them."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny that there's places where snakes don't exist.
Yeah, like Greenland or someplace like.
Well, no, like Wyoming.
There's got to be snakes in Wyoming.
I'm pretty sure it's not very common for like. There has to be snakes, but it's not like down here where like they'll be in your living room if you're leave the door open or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fucking fuck that, dude. I can't do it, dude. Snake. I mean, growing up in New Mexico, we'd have fucking snakes in our house all the goddamn time. And it's fucked up because you go into like the laundry room, go do laundry, and there's a fucking rattlesnake coiled up in there under a fucking hamper, and you're like, God damn it! You looking it up?
Yeah.
Are there snakes in Wyoming? Yes. First word is yes. There are.
I don't know why.
I think like Maine. Look up to see if there's snakes in Maine, because that's like as far north as you can go in the United States.
Dude, is that a fucking new band name? Snakes in Maine.
Snakes in Maine. I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking Maine.
Are there snakes in Maine? The phone's like, yeah.
Yes. Fuck. There's just fucking snakes everywhere here. God damn it.
All right, dude, we can't win this one.
Fuck it.
I'm banning and shit. I'm not dying on that.
Alaska? There's snakes in Alaska?
I don't want to fucking get my hopes up.
I don't know where my phone's at. Fuck it. I don't want to look it up, dude. Hold on. Let's just for me, dude.
In Alaska. They have like little jackets, right?
It's a rattlesnake with a parka on. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, Alaska is snake free.
See? There we go.
Not for long.
Not for long, motherfucker. Me and Carlos are taking a load of snakes up there this weekend, dude.
Gonna capitalize on this fucking market.
Hell yeah, dude. Imagine you introduce snakes to Alaska and you're just like, guys, I got the repellent. It's called a 410 shotgun, dude.
Dude, serious thought. I want to take raccoons to places that don't have raccoons because I feel like everywhere should have raccoons.
That's not a good thought because they're an invasive species, dude. They just can live off of anything, dude.
Trash pandas?
Fuck, man. You ever killed a raccoon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I won't name the club, but there's a club in Austin that they had a raccoon in it, and they were like, "Hey, Mav, come get this raccoon." I'm like, "Why are you calling me?" And they're like, "Why? Who else would we call?" I'm like, "That's a good point." So I went there. The first time I went down there, I couldn't find this raccoon. Next time I went there, they caught it in a cage, and the manager was like, "Hey, get this raccoon out of here. Don't tell any of the staff what you're gonna do to it." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "What are you going to do to it, though?" I was like, "I'm probably just going to release it or shoot it. I don't know. It's a fucking raccoon, you know?" And so I took it back to the neighborhood I was living in at the time. And I was like, all right, if I release this raccoon into this neighborhood, it's going to fucking, it's getting into everybody's trash and could bite somebody's dog. Because raccoons are fucking mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone thinks they're these cute. Like, they're fucking cocksuckers, dude.
It can be, yeah.
And so...
They're all cocky with them thumbs, dude.
Yeah, dude, they're real cocky with that. They're like, "Oh, what's up?" And you're like, "What the fuck, dude?" You're like, "Chill out, dude." One of them gets a hold of your gun, it's over, dude.
Hey, somebody's like, "Hey, can you come take care of this raccoon?" You're like, "Hey, no problem." They're like, "So what are you going to do? You're going to shoot it?" You're like, "Nah." And then you just walk up and just strangle it, just looking in the eyes like a fucking psychopath.
Just like, "I know what you fucking did. This is for my family." You're like, "What?" Like, actually,
they're like, "Holy shit," I was like, "That guy's fucked up." And then you give it CPR, bring it back to life, and do it again. Like, all right, dude, don't ever call this guy back.
Just kill it over and over and over again. Jesus Christ, dude. But dude, so I took it out to like the middle of nowhere, and I was gonna release it. And here's the deal: I was gonna release it. I take it out of the bed of my truck in the cage, and I look at it, and I'm like, "Oh, you're just a little guy. You're just a little." And I like went to go touch the cage, and this motherfucker went. I was like, "God damn it!" And I went to go try to open it, but it kept trying to bite at the fucking cage every time my hand got close to it. So I just dispatched it. I was like, "Fuck it," And it
gave you a chance, bud. Fucked it up.
Yeah, that's my thing, dude. I was like, I gave you a fucking chance to be cool, and I was gonna let you out. And my worst fear was I let this raccoon out, and it just attacks me, and then I gotta explain to people how the fuck I got rabies because of goddamn. I was trying to be a good Samaritan and not kill this raccoon, and then but it was it was a fucked up deal, but it is what it is, I guess.
You ever been bit by a raccoon?
No, man. No, I don't get close enough to those things to fucking to let it happen, Dude, I heard a wild story about a guy who got bit by a raccoon. Yeah?
Yeah, so there's this guy. Fuck, I don't remember the whole story. Let's get past that one. I can't remember.
You don't remember the whole story? Make it up, dude. Just make up the story. There was a guy who walked in on a raccoon, banging his wife, and
no. So like the story was like about a guy that got bit by a raccoon, and then like got rabies, and then rabies is fucked up. It's like a fucked up way to die.
It's a 99% chance you're gonna die. But it's almost 100. Yeah, but you become hydrophobic.
Oh,
you can't drink water. And
the most insane thing is seeing someone that's like hydrophobic.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, like
it's in like you think it's because they like try to drink water and their body's literally like don't do it, don't do it, man. Yeah, it's I was listening to meditations by fucking Marcus Aurelius, and it's just got a bunch of stuff in there about I don't know, whatever. You guys can fucking read it, but it talks about seeing a dog that they didn't have a name for it back then. But they could tell the dog was feral because it would be like scared of water. He said hydrophobic in it at one time, and I was like, that's insane that all the way back then that they knew that's how fucked up it was. But dude, rabies it's literally like a 99% chance you're gonna die.
It's very few people that make it.
Unbelievable, dude. If you win, I mean, if you fucking get rabies and you beat it, go buy a lottery ticket, dude.
I met a woman yesterday that got struck by lightning.
What?
Yeah. So
what, dude?
Yeah, I didn't do it. Don't fucking.
I'm just saying, like, what a crazy segue. Like, but yeah, man, mail's late today. But yeah, anyway, I don't think my dad loves me. You're like, what? Just such a crazy thing. Got struck by lightning, though. What?
So I just took a load of horses. I had a couple back-to-back loads of horses between Florida, Denver, and Kentucky, and like back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
And on 2 of the trips, I had customers leave some stuff behind in my trailer. So one of them was like some medication. I don't remember what kind of medication it was. Horse medication.
Sure, yeah.
It wasn't ivermectin, I wish.
I wish, dude.
And then a cribbing collar. I don't know if you know what a cribbing is.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, fuck. In the truck, I drove down to Texas. So I'm like, I can't just deliver this shit to Denver right now.
Right.
So I went to the FedEx store to mail them to the customers. And when I was in there, I walk in and I can't be serious. So I'm cracking jokes, and they're like kind of relieved.
Yeah.
I guess another customer was in there recently and just, gave him a real hard time.
Being a cunt, yeah.
Yeah, being a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking in and I'm making jokes because I can't take anything serious. And they're laughing their asses off. And it's funny when people are like, you should be a comedian. I'm like, well, no, I'm fucking trying.
Yeah.
And this lady walks in, this old lady walks in. She's 38, right?
Yeah.
She's at least 75.
This old bitch walks in, 24.
So this old lady walks in, and I forgot what joke I made, and she like took it serious and was like, "Oh, so what happened to your mom or something?" I'm like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
And I turned it on to her. I started bullshitting her, and they know I'm joking because I've been joking, but the lady's telling me like, "Hey, she's gonna believe you." And I'm like, hell yeah, like even better. So she's just confused. The old lady got struck by lightning. She's just confused as shit. And with me, right, because I'm not making any sense, of course. Like, I feel bad, honestly.
Yeah.
And so she walks out, and I make another joke. I'm like, dude, that lady, I was like, believe it or not, that lady tried to sell me drugs in the parking lot earlier. And they're like, no, that's Miss Susan. She comes in here twice a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no shit. Like, oh, I didn't realize a FedEx would have, like, regulars. Like a FedEx office.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, she used to do this, and this, and then she got struck by lightning. And I'm like, what?
The fuck?
So I'm like, damn, I'm over here fucking with someone that's been through all sorts of shit, right? They're just trying to live a peaceful life until they die.
Never here fuck with her. Like, yeah. Like, you want to go on a date? Just joking. Man, dude, I've heard stories about dudes getting struck by lightning, and it's just the craziest shit because lightning will find the path of least resistance or whatever, and sometimes lightning comes from the ground up, I guess. It's just, and they say it's just like, I heard one dude say when he got struck by lightning, it felt like he got tackled, and then it was just like couldn't use any of his muscles because it's like a quick restriction and then it releases it, and then he said he was just so fucking tired afterwards. He was like, I am fucking
when you
beat.
Think about it, you're flexing all your fucking muscles.
He's like, yeah, it's like every single muscle in your. I wonder if you come, Just like, you know, like
a little lightning finger up your ass?
Yeah, dude. What if you come, shit your pants all at the same time? And
we'll start hanging around power plants.
Hell yeah, dude. Over here just waving a pole like, come on. Come on.
Any day now.
Daddy needs his medicine. Come on, dude.
Do you know who John Payne is?
No.
The one-armed bandit does a rodeo act.
Yeah, I know the one-armed bandit. Yeah, I don't know him by name.
John Payne, the one-armed bandit, he was like grabbing on to a power line. They were demolishing a house or something. This was like back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, he grabbed a live wire and it fucking pretty much blew his hand off. Yeah,
his arm, and you know, he like fell to the ground, and luckily he had a buddy there with him.
I think it was his dad. I think he was a little kid.
No, he was you know, probably teens or 20s.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
No, I heard him tell the story.
Okay, well, fuck me, right?
Yeah, yeah, fuck you. He was with a buddy. And the buddy like grabbed him and they had a truck, but it was not a truck you could take to town. It was like an old beater for the ranch.
Yeah.
Well, there was like a construction crew nearby, like a mile or two nearby. So his buddy scoops him up into the beater truck, goes over there like, hey, your truck's more capable like going down the road than mine. You need to get this guy to a hospital. He just got electrocuted. So some random construction people took him to the hospital, whatever. And he ended up, you know, making a full recovery. Dude, he's lived a good life, this guy.
Dude, I've seen him do his act, and it's fucking cool.
It's incredible.
He's the guy with the monkey, and he's got a dog. Makes the monkey ride the dog.
That's Lucia.
But he also loads the buffalo on top of his trailer, right? That's the one-armed bandit.
The monkey guy with the dogs is Anthony Lucia's dad.
Dude, that dude's cool. But
So the John Payne guy goes to the hospital, whatever, and his buddy told him like 20 years after it happened that whenever he like blew up, like one of his fingers ended up in his shirt pocket. So
that's fucking awesome.
So he carries him to the whatever, gets him taken. The guy goes to the hospital. His buddy goes home at the end of the day, and he's like taking his clothes off, take a shower, and then he finds his buddy's finger. Like,
Unreal, dude.
Like, and John Payne's telling the story. He's like, yeah, we're at lunch one day, just catching up, and he's like, man, I got a confession to make. I got to, you know, get this off my back. For 20 years, been holding the fact that he's like, your fucking finger, I threw it away, man.
He's like, your finger's in my freezer, man. I'm sorry, I've been keeping it for you.
That guy, he did a show in like Dubai or Saudi Arabia. He did his like one-armed bandit act. So like had a rig and like everything you need for that act, and he just left it over there because like it's so much money to ship stuff like that.
Dude, that's what the military does. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know.
When we go to war somewhere, it costs more to ship it back than it does to just fucking leave it there and take the loss. So whenever we leave a war zone, there is just warehouses of like guns, bombs, fucking tanks, Humvees and shit like that.
And they probably don't destroy it.
No, and that's how a lot of like third world. If you watch the Lord of War with fucking Nicolas Cage, yeah, he was a arms dealer, and he's like, that's how we got a lot of our arms back in the day, was because we would go to like a place where the military had just been, and they're like, hey, we'll just buy this stuff for pennies on the dollar. They said they bought it by the kilo. They bought guns by the fucking kilo, and then and that's how they did it. But I think that's just so fucking funny that people are just like, nah, it's too much. Just fucking keep it, you know?
One of those guys like getting the impression of America from that experience. Then he ends up in America one day.
Yeah.
Goes to Walmart, goes to the gun case, and he's like, let me get 3 pounds of that shotgun.
Yeah, he goes, can I get 6 kilos of that AR right there? Man, do you remember when you were little? You can go buy a fucking AR at Walmart.
Dude, we used to be somebody.
I don't know why that was. We used to fucking be somebody. Holy shit, that's such a fucking fun, dude. If you don't fucking name your first special, we used to be somebody. I swear to God. Dude, that's true, man. Dude, I remember when we were kids. And
buy a lobster and an AR.
Yeah, dude. You go buy a lobster, an AR, and a new lawnmower all in one fucking go, dude. That was awesome.
And you can get a dishwasher at the cashier.
Yeah.
Register.
Yeah.
The cashier.
The cashier was the dishwasher, yeah.
She could be.
Hey, dude, she better be for all I'm paying for her. Dude, I remember we'd go to we had like a Kmart in our town.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when we were little, me and my dad used to go there, and we'd go buy ammo there to go shoot and stuff like that. At Kmart, yeah. Kmart used to sell ammo. And then one day they just stopped. And I was like, I wonder why they stopped selling ammo. Well, it's because of fucking Michael Moore. Michael Moore's a filmmaker, and he makes all these fucking dumbass documentaries and shit, but he made one about Columbine. And apparently the kids at Columbine bought a bulk of their ammo at Kmart in Colorado. And so he made this documentary, and he like took one of the victims from Columbine with him, or a couple of them. Like one dude that was in a wheelchair that got paralyzed from it, and another dude that got shot. And they were like, "Could you stop selling ammo at Kmart?" And then I guess they stopped from there. And I was like, "What a piece of shit," you know?
You know what that tells you? That ammo wasn't that profitable for Kmart.
Yeah, it wasn't, dude.
If it was their big money maker, they'd be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but go fuck yourself. Our profit margin's never been higher.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here." So they're like, "Hey, no, we're not making that much money. It'll be a good effect to, not sell ammo, make people think we're all fucking."
Yeah, dude, exactly. It's yeah, dude. The amount of you go to Walmart, dude. I mean, I bet Walmart makes pretty good profit from their ammo.
They stopped selling handgun ammo and
what?
AR ammo.
That's gay, dude.
So they sell hunting ammo and rimfire ammo.
Well, 223 is hunting ammo.
Yeah, but they don't. That's AR ammo.
Dude,
it's all about the optics of we don't sell ammo that's used in mass shootings, so no more 9mm or 45 or 223.
I think
you can buy a 30-30 and blow somebody's fucking head off.
Yeah, dude, for real. I mean, the amount of uneducated people there are with it, when it comes to guns. Like one time, I was, I tell people I don't get in political debates very often because I don't know shit about politics, but I do know a lot about guns, and so I went. I was at the bar one time, and I think I was in Albuquerque, and this girl was talking about how it was there's a bunch of mass shootings going on. And she was talking about how AR-15s aren't no one should own one and stuff like that. So I pulled up a picture of a Mini 14.
Oh god!
I pulled up a picture of a Mini 14. I was like, "Do you think I should be able to own this?" And she goes,
"Wooden stock."
Yeah, with the wooden. Yeah, the wooden stock. And she was like, "Yeah, I don't see why not."
That's not dangerous.
And then I pulled up a picture of a Mini 30. And I was like, "Should I own this?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't see why not." And then I pulled up a picture of an AK, and I was like, "Should I own this?" And she was like, "No." And an AR, I was like, "Could I own this?" She goes, "No." And I was like, all of those shoot all the same type of ammunition.
In the same way.
In the same way, yeah, semi-automatic. They just look different. She was like, "What?" And I explained to her that that's just the platform of it's driving two different cars that are both run on gasoline. It's if a Honda Civic was killing people by the fucking hundreds or whatever. And then they're like, "Well, we got to outlaw gasoline because fucking Honda Civics run on gasoline." Like, okay, well, what about my Toyota Camry? My Toyota Camry runs on gasoline.
Yeah, but Asians drive them and they don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should just outlaw them, outlaw them driving.
Dude, I'm probably way more terrified of an old timer with a big beer belly.
Fuck,
with
dude.
A Mini 14.
Yeah.
Than some dude all Velcro tactical out with a fucking.
Dude, if I see a guy with a vest on with a bunch of mags and shit, and I see an old motherfucker with a 30-30, I'm like, dude, stay away from that motherfucker with a 30-30, because I guarantee he's been hunting with that thing for 30 years, and he can hit you at 250 fucking yards.
Some hipster's like, "Oh, is that a stipling?" He's like, "No, those are notches."
Those are notches. Yeah, did you stipple that back? No, those are everything. This rifle's taken. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Somebody posted a picture. There's a guy on Instagram. I think his name's Ian Bradley Johnson, something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what he does, but he posts a lot of hunting stuff. And he posted a picture of a rifle stock. It was an old rifle. I don't remember what caliber. It was a lever action or bolt action or what it was. But on the stock, it had like buffalo, whatever, mountain lion, and notches for every animal.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
There was 30 different species.
Yeah.
On it, and then they all had notches, a couple each.
Man, that's so cool.
That's a wild motherfucker.
There's I can't remember if this is a true story or not, but I think whenever Pocahontas went to the New World, so when Pocahontas was able to go to the New World, right, and she went to England and they met the Queen and all that, they sent another one of her tribe with her, and the chief of that tribe gave him a stick and said, "For every white man you see, make a notch in this stick." And he was like, "Okay." And so he comes back and they go, "Where's the stick?" He goes, "There was too many to count." And he was like, fuck. It was just dude. And I mean, I think that might've been on the Pocahontas movie, but I think that's from a real life, depiction of make a notch in this. And it was like a 6 foot long stick. And he was like, He's like, make a notch for every white man you see.
That's why. What was the goal there? Like
just to see what they were up against, you know? Because like I mean, this small group of whites came there and all this stuff, and then he's like, well, you're going to their land, so fucking just let me know how many there are. And then he comes back and he's like, yeah, that stick lasted about 2 days.
Imagine the reverse, kind of. You know, like there's some like white settlers that are coming, and the guy gives his other guy a stick. He's like, go down to Mexico. So many Mexicans are down there. Comes back and he's like, you know, got different type of shoes on, and fucking like a poncho. He's like,
he's got a snakeskin belt on.
There's no Manny.
Tomás. Oh my God, dude.
Speaking of Spanish, can you read that?
No es el calor, es la humedad. Yeah, it's not the rain, it's the humidity.
No,
it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Dude, so I got tattooed the most South Texan statement, and it's not only said in South Texas, but I just hear it every day of my life.
Yeah,
for my whole life so far, and yeah, just I got tired of hearing it, so I'm like, I'm gonna fucking own it.
Yeah, dude.
And so yeah, it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
It's the humidity.
But I got it in Spanish so people can ask about it. Like I imagine in my head, like, you know, some white girls, like, oh my God, like. What is that?
What is that?
And then I'm like, oh, it's actually a quote from Socrates.
So. Dude, I have a quote right here. It's hard to read now, but it says once more, and it's from Henry V. It's like a Shakespeare play. And I remember reading it in high school and thinking, man, that's some badass shit. And the thing is, it says, once more onto the breach, dear friends, once more, or we'll fill this hole with our English dead. And it's talking about how they're in this battle. And it's like they're beat to shit, and it's like he's like, I just need one more out of you guys. Like, let's just give it one more try, or else, you know, they'll fucking, you know, they'll fill this hole with our dead. And I was like, man, that's some powerful shit. I've had this tattoo for almost 10 years. No one's asked me one fucking time about it. I'm like, fuck.
Hey, what's that thing under all that hair?
I'm like, it's what does that say? But nothing. Don't say nothing, dude. God damn it. Fuck, man.
I think for me, I don't ever plan on anybody asking, but for the one day it does happen,
yeah.
I can laugh at it. Like, a lot of the shit that I do that I think is funny is for me. Like, I'm not being funny to make you laugh.
Yeah. If
you get comedy, you'll laugh at it, and like, you'll find the humor in it.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make myself laugh.
Dude, Mike Eaton is such a good. He's so good at that. He has so many dumb tattoos. Like, he's got a milkshake on his hand, so it's a handshake.
Oh, God.
And then he's got a stick of butter with wings on it, and it's a butterfly.
I had a boss back when I was in the oil field. This dude's one of the coolest old guys I've ever met. He was old when I met him. Joe Canning from Luling, Texas. And this dude's just he's just a character. He's just one of those people that you meet, and that's the only version of that you'll ever meet.
Right.
God didn't cut,
one of one.
Yeah, God didn't cut, more than one of him. And he has a tattoo, and there's a whole story he has about it, but there's a tattoo on his calf, muscle, and it's a rooster hanging from a noose, right? And so his shtick or gimmick or whatever you want to call it, he'll go to like a bar or somewhere.
I think I know the answer to it. I know the answer to it.
Talking up the bartender, and he's an old man,
Yeah.
He's not afraid to make a dirty joke here or there, so he'll start saying shit.
Fuck yeah.
And he's respectful and everything, but
sure.
He's not afraid to get a little uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, he'll start talking up the bartender. He'll be like, "Hey, I bet you a beer. I got a cot hangs below my knee." And they're always like, "All right, bring it on, old man. Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
And he fucking pulls a pant leg up, and they're like, "God damn it! All right."
That's fucking good, dude.
Dude, it's hilarious. He had a box in his office. Whenever you go into his office, almost like a pallet. Like there was a big box of candles, and they were all banana nut scented. And so, like, for any kind of holiday, special occasions, your birthday or whatever, something happens, you'll be like, "Hey, get you a candle." So you're like, "All right, whatever,
Yeah.
So I got one day. He's like, whatever, it was my birthday or something, right? He's like, "Hey, grab you a candle." Cool. Don't think twice. I grab it, whatever, go to my truck. It's like a week later, it's on my like kitchen counter or table, and a friend of mine comes over and she's like, "Oh, you got a new candle?" And she smells. She's like, "Oh, it smells good, banana nut." And then she's like, "What the fuck?" On the candle said, "Smell my nuts." Like, dude, he got me. Like, that motherfucker.
Fuck, dude. Dude, one of my favorite old jokes is this girl goes into a tattoo shop. She goes to the tattoo artist. She goes, "Hey, I wanna get a tattoo." The guy goes, "All right, what do you want?" He goes, I want a turkey on my right leg." He goes, "Fuck, all right, I guess." Goes and does a turkey on her right leg. A few weeks later, she comes in. She goes, "Hey, you remember me?" He goes, "Yeah." Like, listen, I want another tattoo, but I want a Christmas tree on my other leg. And he goes, "Yeah, sure, all right, I guess." So he's like, tattooing her, and he kind of gets the thing, and he's like, "Hey, you mind if I ask you a question?" She goes, "Yeah, sure." He goes, listen, I've been doing tattoos for a long time, and I just don't get the joke. What's the joke? She goes, "Well, I'm tired of my husband complaining there's nothing to eat between Thanksgiving and Christmas." Eat it, bitch. But dude, I having a friend like that, like a friend that's not afraid to make people uncomfortable and shit. Dude. I have like a bunch of friends that I used to rodeo with and stuff like that, and they're a completely different sense of humor than comics, right? Oh, yeah. Like comics are very like, all heady and all this shit, right? But these dudes just like love a simple joke. And so I've only had a few of them come to comedy shows, but I was in Durango, Colorado one time, and Jacob Spencer, I grew up with this dude. He was a badass fucking bull rider, really, really good bull rider. And then he became a welder, and me and him kind of have a lot in common like that. And he's from around that area, and he was like, "Hey man," yeah, he's from Bloomfield, New Mexico. Oh. So he was like, "Hey, he's like, "Hey, I heard you got a show in Durango," and I was like, "Yeah, man, you should come." So him and his now wife showed up to it, and Spencer's just a character, dude. Don't give a shit, fucking whatever. He's like super, like he'll fight anybody. He's great. So I was doing a show there, and I was on the show with this girl who she runs a show in Denver now called Dyketopia. And apparently it's a really good show. I've never seen it, but she's a lesbian gal and stuff like that. Never would have guessed it, right? But super funny, very sweet. I love her. She's awesome. And after the show, Spencer's hanging out, and I'm talking to her. Me and her just hanging out, whatever. And Spencer comes like, "Man, it was a fucking great show, good job, all this stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, hey, this is my buddy Kate. Kate, this is Jacob Spencer. He's a friend of mine from back home." And he goes, "Hey, you were hilarious. You were so funny." She goes, "Oh, thank you so much." He goes, "Hey, you want to hear a joke?" And I was like, "Fuck!" And I turned away. Abort. I was literally like, "I'm not gonna tell him not to tell this joke, whatever." So I was like, "I'm gonna let them tell this joke." I turn around. I'm talking to somebody, and I look back, and she just goes, "Fuck you, dude," and walks away from him. And Spencer just loses his fucking mind laughing. And I was like, I wanted to be like, "What joke did you tell?" But at the same time, it was probably just some joke about being a lesbian or whatever. And I was like, "God damn it, dude!" It's so like after that, whenever I have a buddy from back home, it's like, "Hey man, let me come to one of your comedy shows." I'm like, "Man, you're gonna get me kicked out of this fucking venue, dude."
You don't have any friends left?
Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah, I'm not gonna have any friends left, and nobody's gonna book me anymore because they're like, "Hey, you brought that one guy who told that racist joke." I'm like, "Well, this is the only joke he knows, so fucking you asked him if he knew any jokes."
Oh shit,
man, it's funny.
So there's a musician I just love named Townes Van Zandt.
I love Townes Van Zandt,
and I love hearing stories about him.
Yeah.
They're not all good.
Fuck no, dude.
They're not all positive of what I mean. Like, he had some rough, dark times.
Yeah.
But even then, he had some great stories that people have of him. And there's a story about, did you know he had a book? He, wrote a book.
No, I didn't know that.
He wrote a book about songwriting and stuff, apparently. I might be wrong. But, so he writes a book, but he doesn't have a lot of money. So he makes, 1,000 copies. And, it's really hard. It was really hard even then when they came out to get one.
Yeah.
And so if you had one, you had something special. Well, he's playing a show, and this is right before he died. Apparently, he's playing a show somewhere, and he's just bombing. He's bombing the show.
Yeah.
He's just so messed up, whatever. And there's a guy there that went to go see him because he's loves watching him, and I think they might have been buddies or not buddies, but they might have known each other. So he sees him, and somebody comes on stage and helps him play the rest of his songs because they're like, "Dude, this guy's
fucked up." Yeah.
Fucked up, but out of respect for him and who he is,
right.
Let's get through this. So after the show, the guy that helped him play or whatever, apparently I think that's who it was in the story, has one of his books. He's like, "Hey man, huge fan. Do you mind just autographing this for me?" So he's like, "Yeah." Grabs a pen, and he's writing for a minute. So he's like, "Oh shit," he's writing me a heartfelt message or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he like says he gets the book back, and it's like a stick figure of a horse. And he wrote an arrow and just said horse. So that's what inspired this tattoo. I don't know if you can really see.
I was wondering about that. That's funny, dude.
So it's not exactly what that is, but it's kind of like homage to that story.
Dude, there's a guy that was a really good buddy of Towns Van Zandt. His name was Blaze Foley.
Oh, dude.
Dude, Blaze Foley had such good. I mean, he was just like, he came from that era of songwriting of like just like John Prine, like real simple, catchy, but kind of silly songs,
So I say this all the time about him, and I believe it. And you could take it the wrong way if you want to. I think those guys were amazing as characters.
Yeah.
Probably tough to be around. Like they say, Blaze. I don't remember the name of the bar. It's like the Armadillo Den or something like that.
Yeah.
They said that he would like sleep under the pool table for a while. Like he would sleep. He would go to the bar and sleep under the pool table. That's where you could find him. And then if you broke, they said if you broke hard enough, you would hear a thump because he would wake him up and startle him, and he fucking. And he was a big dude. He was like 6'3".
He was a big guy, yeah.
So they said he would startle him, and he'd fucking thump his head on the bottom of
That's
the
so fucking funny.
And yeah, did you watch the movie Blaze?
Yeah, it was really good. But one of the things I really liked about him was it reminds me about the dudes in Austin now, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not live your fucking life. I don't give a shit. Yeah. But when I see a dude wearing jeans and boots, and his jeans are 2 inches above his spur shelf, I'm like, dude, get some longer fucking pants, right? Like, hey, dude, if you're gonna cosplay right, you know what I mean? But Blaze used to do this thing where he would wrap his boots in duct tape, the tip of his boots in duct tape. And someone was like, Blaze, why do you do that? He goes, well, I see all these fancy pants, cowboys wearing their steel covered, back in like the 80s and 90s and the 70s. If you'd have a pair of cowboy boots, and to preserve your toe, they would get a metal sheath put over them.
It was called a wingtip, I think.
Yeah.
Silver wingtips.
Yeah, but
they said when Urban Cowboy came out back in the day.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a fucking cowboy. Kind of like how Yellowstone is right now.
That's exactly what's going on, yeah.
Back in the day, it was Urban Cowboy. When that came out, everybody bought fucking boots and hats and shit.
And, dude, so Blaze would always make fun of these dudes by wrapping the toes of his cowboy boots in duct tape, because it looked silver, and
they called him the duct tape messiah.
Yeah, the duct tape messiah.
You watch King of the Hill, right?
Yeah.
So the guy Mike Judge that has that show, he has another show. Have you heard of it? Tales of the Tour Bus.
Dude, I've heard of this. I've seen clips of it on TikTok, and it looks fucking good, dude.
It's really good. So there's a show called Tales of the Tour Bus.
What is it on? Is it on YouTube or what?
It's on YouTube. That's where I bought it. It might be elsewhere, but that's where I bought it. I bought it. Like, I paid to watch it.
Paid money for it, yeah.
Yeah, and because it has everybody. It's like Towns and Blaze, George Jones.
Dude, some of the ones from like Johnny Paycheck, I've seen are fucking nuts, dude. Like,
so Blaze Foley has an episode of it, and there's a story that he lived in a car. He never had anywhere to live. Like,
no, he was homeless. He just wanted to write songs and get drunk, pretty much.
He was like a true rambling man.
Yeah,
and he was living in a green station wagon, and somebody asked, "Hey, can I borrow your car to go do whatever?" He's like, "Yeah," gives her the keys. It's a lady. Gives her the keys, and then she wrecks his car.
Oh.
And she said that when she wrecked his car, she wrecked into an identical green station wagon.
Yeah.
So when everybody got out, they didn't know whose car was whose and stuff, and then Blaze shows up, and she's like, I'm sorry, I ruined your house. So then she said that he got the last laugh on that one, because for the rest of his life, he had an open invitation to stay on her couch whenever, because I had somewhere to sleep. And fucking ruined that for me, dude.
Him and Towns and all those dudes, Johnny Paycheck, George Jones, these guys that are. I mean, Towns is probably best known for Poncho and Lefty. Right? I mean, that was probably...
Actually, yes, but a lot of people don't even know that that's...
Well, no, that was his most popular song he wrote, right? Yeah. He wrote it, and Willie Nelson heard it and was like, hey, I want to cover this. Yeah. And so that, when Poncho and Lefty is actually a Towns Van Zandt song. Yeah. And, just genius fucking song. I mean, George Jones is... I mean, he'll go down in country music history, and Johnny Paycheck and all these guys, but you look at guys like Morgan Wallen now, and they're like, can you believe Morgan threw a chair off of a off of a Broadway bar. It almost hit a cop. I'm like, dude, Johnny Paycheck was getting in gunfights at bars. The fuck you talking about? You want fucking dangerous country music? Like,
David Allan Coe, he killed 2 men.
Yeah, David Allan Coe killed a dude in prison because he fucking guy was like, I'm gonna make you suck my dick, and David Allan Coe says, bitch, fucking watch this shit. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny when people want something, and then when that thing becomes that thing, they get mad about it. You know, like when someone's like, I want outlaw country to come back. Well, Morgan was trying to do some outlaw shit, but everybody got fucking mad at him for it, you know?
I don't think the people that are saying I want outlaw stuff are the people that are bitching about outlaw stuff.
Yeah, I guess, man. But then it's like, when you talk about like this Drake beef and shit like that, like I really don't know what's going on with it, kind of.
Under a fucking rock.
Dude,
I've heard of it, but I don't know what.
I had to call my sister to explain it to me, and I still don't understand it. But from what I understand is, you know, Drake and Kendrick Lamar are fighting, and Drake's bodyguard got shot.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, yeah, you guys are fucking quote unquote gangster rappers. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? Like, whenever some gangster shit actually happens, you guys get fucking mad. What the fuck? It's so funny to me how far we've gone from like the original like outlaw. That's why they called it outlaw country, because these dudes are fucking. If they weren't famous, they'd be in prison. You know.
And it's funny because like outlaw country was a big thing, and then everybody got on board. They're like, they're such outlaws. They're like, it's not for us anymore. So they wrote that. Don't you think that all this outlaw shit done got out of hand?
Yeah.
And it's funny because like, hey, we want to do our own thing, and everybody's like, well, that's cool. We want to do it too. And like, well, now I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
Man.
It kind of reminds me too of that old saying. Everybody wants to be a fucking cowboy until it's time to do cowboy shit. Yeah,
dude, that's some funny shit, man. I was thinking about it on the way over here, dude. I was talking to my dad about it because, like, I rodeoed in high school and college, and I've day worked and stuff like that. You know, I mean, I don't work as a cowboy, so I don't like call myself one, obviously, but like, you know, I feel like I've done enough to like merit being able to wear a hat and boots, but I never do because it's always like you always get shit from people. You know what I mean? Like, at least growing up, like in New Mexico, if I wore a cowboy hat to school, they'd be like, what, fucking broke back and all this shit, you know? But now I see these dudes on fucking 6th Street and all over that are wearing cowboy hats and shit. I'm like, if these fuckers are going to wear one, I'm going to fucking wear one, dude.
Well, it's, for me, at least, it's pretty easy. Like, all right, that's a, gas station special. Like, no, that guy went to Double R Hat House and got himself a nice hat. Like,
oh, dude, yeah.
There's a whole spectrum, and it's pretty easy to spot for some people.
I was in Lubbock. I was at a show with this girl that I was seeing at the time, and I was wearing this hat. I had just got it recently shaped, and it was still looking pretty new. And this guy bumped into me, and he was like, hey, I'm so sorry, man. I was like, oh, no, you're fine, dude. Don't worry about it. It's fucking tight quarters and shit. And he was like, I like your hat. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. He goes, yeah. He's like, I like your crease. And I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. That's not a...
Something on my ass?
Yeah, I was like, these are just freshly starched. What are you talking about, dude? But that's a compliment you don't get very often. That's a real actual compliment you get. Like, you give to somebody like, man, that's an interesting crease, or I like your crease. And then he's like, you can always tell the real ones by the crease, and winked at me, and then just disappeared in the crowd. And I was like, was that a real person? I was like, is that a fucking genie or some shit, dude? Shit. And it's, it is funny because I'll be walking with somebody and I'll like look at somebody's cowboy hat, and you can tell if like, oh, that dude bought it at Cavender's. That dude bought an actual, like Bobby. Last year, Bobby was wearing like, just a Cavender special, and then this year he actually went to a hat shop, got a crease, and it looks way better.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell these dudes. I'm like, dude, I have no problem with you wearing a cowboy hat, but dude, go to one of these little hat shops and go get a custom fucking creased cowboy hat, and you'll look a lot better.
I think he got linked up with those dudes at Allen's.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't know any better.
I saw the video of him getting it creased. I thought that was kind of cool.
I made him a hat rack. Oh, shout out Bobby Flacco.
Oh, Flacco.
If you've never heard of Nether Hour, go give them a listen.
Oh, dude. Band. I went to Sunday service the other day, and god damn it was so fucking good.
That's always a fucking time.
Man,
it's a good time.
Man, every time I go, it's just...
I made Bobby that hat rack.
You did?
Yeah.
That looks nice, dude. I made his guitar strap.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's fucking slick, dude.
I made that one for myself.
You make these or what?
Yeah. So I get bored and I just make shit. When people try to pay money for them, that's when I lose interest. I'm like, ugh.
Dude, that's what I did with like leatherwork, dude. I love making stuff for people when it's just like a gift.
Yeah.
You know, like when I make you something, I'm like, here you go. Like, hey, I put it in there, like, oh, this is amazing. But when someone's like, hey, I want this, and I'm like, I get kind of like turned off of it. I'm like, this isn't fun anymore, man. No, that's like, it's like making jokes. It's like, I like making jokes that I think are, like, every joke I make, I'm like, I think this is a funny fucking joke. But when someone's like, you should make a joke about, I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, nah, I'm all right. It's okay.
The shit people told me before, like, I had somebody send me a Facebook message, this fucking random ass ridiculous story with no humor in it, and was like, hey, like they're doing you a favor, hey, you can use that for a bit. I'm like, oh, thanks, appreciate it.
Dude, the you can use that if you want fucking kills me, because I'm like, dude, that is the most uninteresting fucking story I've ever heard, or there is nothing funny about it, or you can see the punchline coming from a mile away. And
I do the reverse.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, somebody tells me a bullshit story, it's like not funny, not entertaining, not captivating. I'm like, hey, can I use that?
Dude, can we start doing that to each other? If one of us just tells a dud of a story, like, mind if I use that?
Hey, you mind if I? You know,
hey, can I use that? That is such a funny fucking bit, dude. Oh my God.
I just had an interaction with someone recently, and like the dude just had no character to him. It was just like a vanilla person.
Yeah.
And he's telling me this, and he's so interested in his own story, and that's always the worst. He's so interested in his own story, and I'm like, when's this gonna be over? You gonna wrap it up? And he's like, and I'm like, hey, that's fucking actually pretty cool. Do you mind if I share that? And yeah, he did not. He's like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, oh God,
dude. It never fucking fails. After a show or something like that, I know if I do good, because if someone will come up and be like, hey, I got a story for you.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about welding. All right, listen. Now, I'm not a welder, okay, by any means. I'm not, but I have this welding machine that I got secondhand from, I think, maybe my grand uncle. It was my uncle. That's who it was. My uncle. My grand uncle. And then I was trying to weld with it, and I was trying to do it, and then my wife comes out, she goes, Carl, it ain't plugged in. And I'm like, oh, that's the end of it. Oh, yeah, that's a great story, man. He goes, you can use that if you want. I'm like, if somebody had a gun to my head and said, tell the dumbest fucking story I've ever heard, I'd probably use it then. But besides that, I'm not using that, dude.
I think the only move to make in that situation is like, gather the crowd. All right, everybody get back. I got one more story for y'all.
Carl, can you tell that again? It's like, everybody come back here? Yeah, everybody? Carl, go ahead.
Carl, right here.
Carl.
I need you front and center.
Carl, tell everybody. Tell everybody that captivating, riveting fucking story you just told me.
Wouldn't it be nice to just put people in their fucking place like that sometimes?
Dude, I saw this one time at a show in Albuquerque. This dude was like just fucking heckling everybody. And it's at a bar show, so there's no security. There's no door guys. So he's just getting away with it. And finally one comic goes, hey, why don't you come up here and why don't you tell a joke? And I was like, what the fuck? So he goes up there and he's like, so one time, so there I was, and then the comic just goes, brilliant. Brilliant, and starts clapping and shit. And he just like hands the microphone back and goes and sits down and he goes, yeah, not so fucking easy anymore, is it? It was the only time I've ever seen it happen. It was the most humbling thing ever. I was like, that is beautiful. Holy shit.
So I did some open mics like a week ago.
Yeah.
And I met these two comics, cool fucking dudes. They were real nice and like kind of showed me around.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about open mics or where to find them in Austin.
Yeah.
I'm still like learning.
They're everywhere but nowhere at the same time. Yeah. It's so weird.
So I meet these two. I go to sign up at the mothership for the open mic on Monday, and it's funny enough, there was no Kill Tony on Monday.
Yeah.
That Monday. And I sign up, and I will never introduce myself as like the Kill Tony guy.
Sure.
Like, hey, anybody recognize me? I'm from Kill Tony. Like, no. And but it happens often enough where people are like, hey, are you the guy? And I'll be like, yeah. And like, it feels weird, but it's like, yeah, that's me. Right. So I meet these two, or people always tend to come and talk to me and stuff, and like especially in Austin. And so I meet these two comics, and I'm like, hey, what else is going on? Like I've signed up 3 or 4 times for the mothership open mic. Yeah. I haven't got picked once. So I'm like, hey, what else is going on? They're like, oh, we're gonna sign up for this and this and this. And I'm like, Do you mind if I tag along? Like,
yeah.
I want to figure this out too. And one of them that we signed up was there's this bar called Chupacabras.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
It's a little like shotgun bar. It's a tiny, narrow deal. And that open mic in there, and the dude running it was cool as shit and stuff. But it's also like it's a bar. It's not a comedy club, so it's a little bit different atmosphere. Like,
yeah.
And so I sign up and I'm waiting and I'm watching everybody else go up and they're doing their sets. And there's this drunk dude, just drunk as fuck in the booth. And he's like already kind of propped up on the booth, like
fuck.
You can tell how drunk he is. And one of the guys I was running around with, he's on, doing his set. And this guy's like, "Hey, tell a fucking joke already."
Holy fucking shit, dude.
And so then the guy's like trying to play like be cool about it, right? So he's like, "Oh, hey, what do you mean, man?" He's like, "I don't know, be funny." I'm like, "Yeah,
dude."
He shut the fuck up when I was on stage, but and then the door guy that played Chupacabras, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but like, I guess when he heard people laughing, he was like, "Oh shit, there hasn't been that many people laughing."
Yeah.
So he walks in. He's like standing in the doorway, which is like right here, almost where the mic is at.
Yeah.
And just laughing in my ear, like to my face, like ah, which I appreciate the laugh, but it's like throwing me off. But I keep fucking getting after it.
Dude, there is a weird thing about like laughing, and it's like if you have a normal laugh, it's great. But dude, I've been at shows where I'm telling jokes and I'm doing good or whatever, and someone just has the craziest fucking laugh. And you don't want to point it out because you're like, oh, you're having a good time. Yeah. Like, you can't control. Nobody's like, oh, I think I want this laugh.
Yeah,
it's
you're
just
not
like,
doing it to be a dick.
Yeah, it's just whatever laugh you end up having, that's the laugh you have. Like, I have a crazy laugh too, but it is always funny to me whenever I hear that because I'm like, I know you're not heckling, I know you're not being a dick, but you have the worst fucking laugh.
You're a bit much, buddy.
But hey, and it's usually always women, dude. It's always like, ma'am, yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude.
Do you know who Gary Peenon is, the singer? Musician? There's a old Texas country singer named Gary Peenon, and he has some great songs, great music. You ever heard that one song, London Homesick Blues?
No.
It's like, I want to go home to the armadillo. Anyways, Gary Peenon, OG. This dude's been there, done that. Still alive, still going. Well, I went to go see Gary Peenon at Brontex in New Braunfels right before COVID. This is like 2020, end of 2019, right before COVID. And my roommate, Josh, who lives here with me, or that I live with, I guess, tagged along with me because Josh likes him, but like I'm buying tickets, like I want to see him.
Yeah.
And so Josh goes along with me. And this is not our venue, right? This is a theater. It's like we go to the bar, like, hey, can we get 2 shots of tequila and 3 beers? And they're like, ooh, buddy, no.
No.
And they're like, we don't sell shots. I'm like, huh? Like, I can sell you tequila in a cup. I'm like, all right. It's not a shot glass, but I'll take it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So, but we're having a good time. I had bought some really good seats kind of close to the front, but we're in the middle. So when we're walking back, I see this couple that look pretty happy, right? But they're like, they're squinting and shit. They can't see the stage that well. So I'm like, hey, I got some seats up there. I'm gonna keep making beer runs. You're on the edge here. Would you mind trading? They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. So I swapped out seats with them. That way me and Josh can run to the bar in the restroom. So we're throwing them back. I mean, we're doing shots and chugging beers, and we're just throwing them back. Well, the guy immediately in front of me, it's him and his wife. He's probably in his late 50s, early 60s. He had one of those laughs that, like, I can hear it in my head right now. Like, it sounds like an animal dying.
Oh,
like
God.
Like,
oh, my God, dude.
He had one of those laughs, right? So, like, Gary Peenon tells a lot of stories, between songs. So, like, he would tell a story, and this guy, like, he's just going off. We're like, dude, this is fucking funny. So, drunk Carlos likes to play pranks.
Yeah.
And not good ones either. Like,
oh, fuck.
Dumb pranks.
Mean pranks, yeah.
Not even mean, just like, how's that funny,
Right.
It's funny to me, but like.
Yeah.
And so I go do a beer run because we were taking turns. Like, I'll go to the bar, then you go to the bar. So when it was my turn, I bought 2 beers and they had Capri Sun on the menu.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm like, all right, let me get 2 Lone Stars and a Capri Sun. So I walk back and Josh is like, where's my beer? I'm like, oh, it's here. And I hand him a Capri Sun. He's like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? And I was like, just kidding. I pulled the beer out. Then I was like, well, fuck, what do I do with this Capri Sun?
Yeah.
So in between songs, I asked the guy that was with that laugh. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, the bartender accidentally gave me this, and I paid for it, but I don't want, I don't want it. You want a Capri Sun?" He's like, "Yeah." So he, puts a straw in it. He's a little old man. So Josh comes back from the bar from his beer run, and he's like, "What'd you do with that Capri Sun?" I'm like that, and the old man just there slurping it up. But dude, that was a hell of a show. He has that song "London Homesick Blues," and he wrote it in London on tour, and then brought it back to Jared Jeff Walker, and they recorded it at Lukenbach on that album Viva Trilingua.
Oh yeah,
it's on there, and there's a backstory to that song on that album. London Homesick Blues, if you ever heard it or haven't heard it, it's catchy, and they're recording a song in there, and it's the last song on the album. And so when they stop playing, the crowd's like fucking going crazy, right? Cheering, clapping, and everything. And apparently, like the band, they're like, they're not shutting up. Like, what do we do? So they just went right back into the song again. It's on the album. It's one of my favorite songs ever. But
you mind if I use that?
Yeah, dude. Damn. Fuck.
No, that was a good story. I actually liked it. I've been waiting to use that with you for a minute. Man, mind if I use that?
What's big, dude?
Fuck, dude. That's that's fun, man. Dude, there's Ryan Bingham is like one of my favorite.
Who's that?
He's a guy. Don't worry about it. Only cool dudes know him.
I stole his tattoo.
I seen that Ryan Bingham tattoo. But he was born in Hobbs, New Mexico. So like I consider him a New Mexican,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. If he's from Hobbs, if you've like been around him or anything, but he's a little bit older than you, right?
Yeah, so he started really kind of making it when I was in high school. Like when I was in high school, he was like what I don't know what. I mean, some of these, more like Zach Top, do you know that guy? Yeah. He's like what he would be right now, like only real ones kind of knew him, right?
Dude, I could not tell you how many times I've listened to Mescalito front to back.
Dude, Mescalito was good. Fucking dude, South Side of Heaven. Fuck, dude, that song is jammed it in high school. But Baracho Station was one of the really like first songs that got me into him.
You ever been there?
To Green Hall?
No, Baracho Station.
No, where is that?
It's a town in West Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. But he recorded that song at Green Hall, I'm pretty sure, yeah. But that was the first time I ever saw Green Hall and figured out where, like, what that is. Then going there, and I've been on stage at Green Hall, which is kind of cool.
No shit?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I just walked on. They kicked me right off.
It's outside of Van Horn, Baracho Station.
Oh, yeah.
Out there in the middle of nowhere.
By Pecos. And
Valmarais, yeah.
Fort Davis and stuff. But my buddy Braxton Keith, you know him?
Yeah.
So he's a good buddy.
I was in his wedding.
Were you?
No.
That's crazy because he's not fucking married. Son of a bitch lying to me on your podcast. So when I first moved here, I was like talking to Braxton. He's like, hey man, we're gonna be at Green Hall, and I was like, oh cool. And I was dating this girl, the same girl that I was kind of dating when I was in Lubbock, and that guy, she's a huge country music fan, big Braxton Keith fan.
I thought you were gonna say she's a huge cunt.
She's a huge cunt. No, she's a nice girl, but she came to visit me, and I was like, hey, my buddy Braxton's playing, and like I just know Braxton, and I forget kind of that he's kind of on the rise. So whenever I meet people that know him, I'm like, oh, you know my buddy Braxton. They're like, yeah, I love his song. I'm like, oh yeah, I forget he's a musician too. But so I was like, hey, do you want to go see Braxton Keith at this place? And she's like, oh my God, yeah, I'd love to. I'm a huge fan of him. I was like, all right, cool. Because he does a lot of shit in Lubbock too, So I show up, we're hanging out and stuff like that. They're getting ready, me and her drinking beers or whatever, grabbing her butt, things like that.
Hell yeah.
Know what I mean? Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, dude. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. So sometimes when I'm at Braxton's shows, he'll let me introduce the band. So I was like, I told the girl, like, hey, I was like, I'm going to go use the bathroom. You mind just waiting here? She goes, yeah, sure, no problem. And the opener gets off, and then I just go up on stage, and I'm like, Green Hall! And everyone's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you guys ready for it? And I like give him this sick-ass introduction, and he comes on, and I come back, and I grab my beer from him. I'm like, you into that or what? She was like, that was cool. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm cool. So I was like...
Hey, so, like, all that happens, what you said happened, and you get back, and she's all impressed, right? And then security comes like, hey, you got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You had no permission to do that.
I was like, oh, yeah, so I'm sorry. They takes our beers from us. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Braxton has a restraining order against you. I'm like, fucking shit. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was cool, man. But no, like, yeah, Ryan Bingham was, I mean, it's kind of funny because, you know, when you like a musician from like the get-go and when he was like kind of like an independent, like, you know, like I've liked Ryan Bingham for 12 years, you know, since I heard him the first time in high school. And then you'll like be on a date with a girl who's like just kind of getting, she's like, have you ever heard of Ryan Bingham? And I'm like, yeah, I know who Ryan Bingham is, you know?
Did you listen to that new album? It's like Beware of the Wolf or something like that.
No, from him?
Yeah,
no.
It's pretty new.
Last one I heard was fucking. It was like kind of like a more of an upbeat album. Which one? Where the fuck's my phone?
I thought that was it.
No.
I have it on Vine. Like they sent it to me.
Oh really? You have it like that?
Well, I paid for it, but.
Oh okay. Yeah, don't.
But when it came out, they sent it to me. Watch out for the wolf.
Watch out for the wolf.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Let me see. No, the one is American Love Song. That's the one. That's the last one I like really listened to the whole thing. But I mean, dude, he's just like. I mean, dude, he just got a cool sound to him and stuff like that. And the fact that he was like born in New Mexico. There's not a lot of New Mexicans in the world. You know, there's only a couple 100,000 of us.
What are you talking about, bro? Mexicans populated. There's a bunch of new ones all the time.
They're from old Mexico, maybe not the new one. Got that old Mexico smell, dude.
People don't know this. New Mexico's been a state longer than Mexico's been a country.
Yeah. That's so it's New Mexico's been named New Mexico longer than Mexico's, you know. So like, I resaw the video today. That's so funny you say that. New Mexico isn't named after Mexico. It's named after a town in Spain, and so this town in Spain was, I guess, had so much wealth and stuff like that. When the Spanish came to New Mexico, they were like, we're hoping to find all this new wealth here, so we're gonna name it New Mexico, and then they just named other Mexico. Right. So
there's this town in Spain that has dirty water and crime.
Okay, calm the fuck. You're from Corpus Christi, dude. Get the fuck.
Not from Corpus.
Okay, dude, you rep it like a motherfucker though.
I've said it like twice in my life.
Shut up! You've said it 6 times since I've been here. What are you talking about, dude? Well, one of my favorite things about you is wherever you're at, you'll tell me the name of the town and the state. You'll be like, I'm like, where are you? Like, hey man, what are you doing? I'm like, just got back from Corpus Christi, Texas. I was like, oh, I thought you were in Corpus Christi, Rhode Island, dude. I'm sorry.
Dude, you ever been to San Antonio, Florida?
No, I would never stoop so low, dude.
So I've ended up in this conundrum before, so that's why I clarified.
That's so funny, man.
There's a band from San Antonio, Florida called the Bellamy Brothers.
Oh yeah, I've heard of the Bellamy Brothers. Yeah.
From San Antonio, Florida.
That's funny. There's a town in New Mexico called Las Vegas.
Yeah. No, I've been there.
Yeah, you've been to Vegas? So there's a college there too.
No shit.
Yeah, and this girl that I was dating recently, she went to school in Vegas. And so it's funny, I was telling somebody the other day about her. They're like, what'd she do? Where'd she go? Oh, she went to school in Las Vegas. And they're like, oh really? Like UNLV? And I was like,
kind of.
What? No, New Mexico Highlands. She was like, yeah, so it's funny. Whatever. And then like my mom, she has to travel over New Mexico for her job. Mm-hmm. And the other day I called her. I was like, where you at? She goes, oh, I'm in Las Vegas. I was like, Nevada? She goes, no. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Don't get stabbed.
The last time I stopped in Las Vegas, New Mexico, I was at the Loves there. I think it's a Loves.
It's a nice Loves.
And tiny shithole.
Calm down, dude. Jesus Christ.
This guy walks up to me and my buddy, the vice president of the company.
Yeah.
That I worked for. This guy walks up to us, and like nothing against anybody, but like he was sweaty as fuck, has face tattoos, and he's talking his speech is in a pace that would lead me to believe he's on some kind of narcotic.
Sick.
He's like, yeah, man. So I love horses because we're in a horse trailer, right? And he's like, talking funny as fuck, and he's like, I got my CDL. I'm driving that bull rack over there, and are y'all hiring? And we're like, no.
Fuck no.
Not today.
No, not you, not ever.
And fortunately and unfortunately, the horse trailer we had, or all our horse trailers have our phone number, the office phone number on the side.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, all right, yeah, well, I guess I'll just call the number and ask. We're like, oh, God. And we never hired him as far as I know, but yeah, that's the last time I went to Las Vegas, New Mexico.
That's wild. Dude, so, I mean, you've been all over the country trucking and shit like that. You ever been to Moriarty, New Mexico?
To where?
Moriarty, right outside of Albuquerque. There's a TA, a pilot, Flying J.
The way you're saying it and the way I might have said it in my head might be different. How do you spell it?
Moriarty.
Moriarty.
Moriarty, yeah.
Moriarty.
So it's on 40 going into Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I guarantee you've probably driven through there.
There's a TA there?
Yeah, there's a TA, there's a Flying J, there's a pilot.
Oh, dude, okay. I was there a couple weeks ago at that TA.
Yeah.
I took a load out to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And then from Santa Fe, I dropped down, and then I was headed back east. I go to the TA to take a shower and have a co-driver with me. And we walk in, and I have like a TA app.
Yeah.
And you get points when you put diesel.
Right.
It gives you points. You get those points for showers. So I have like 2 shower credits. Well, when you're a team, when you drive as a team, you can use 1 shower credit for 2 showers. You have 2 separate showers.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I was trying to get. It's called a team shower.
Hell yeah. I'm all about a team shower.
So I walk up to the counter. I'm like, can I get a team shower? And they're like, did you reserve it on your phone? I'm like, no, I have credits. Like, and the manager or whatever comes out and she's like, you need to get out of the line and this and that. And she's being a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
And me and my co-driver look at each other like whatever. So I stand aside and then I book it. And they're like, we'll go to the back. I'm like, I was in line and you fucking took me out of line for no reason.
Yeah.
Which what I needed to do was going to take me 1 second. And dude, she was just being a fucking cunt. So I want to take the shower. I want to say something, but I'm like, I don't want her to be a bitch. Like, you know what, leave?
Yeah.
Refuse service, right?
Right.
But I'm still me. So I go get my shower. I wash my fucking dirty old ass. And then I walk out. And when I'm walking out to go back to my truck to leave, I kind of don't even want to say it.
Say it, dude.
She was being a bitch. She had a really bad attitude. She was being a bitch.
Yeah.
And I was really nice to her in the moment. But when I was leaving, she's like, in a cunty manner, was like, have a good day, right? And I look at her and I was like, hey, you work at a truck stop. And I just walk out. Like, who the fuck you think you are, bitch?
Hey, you work at a TA.
Yeah, how do you say it?
Moriarty.
Moriarty, fucking New Mexico, middle of nowhere.
That's where I graduated from high school.
Oh, no shit?
That's like one of my hometowns, yeah.
You're like, my mom works at the TA.
Dude, it was like my mom's manager of the TA, actually. Yeah, she said there was some fat bitch in there giving her problems.
Wonder who that might have been.
But yeah, dude, I've eaten at that TA so many fucking times, and dude, I used to tell people this, but nobody understood what I was saying. But like, I'd be like, yeah, I grew up in a truck stop town.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
like,
the biggest thing there.
Yeah, and they're like, what does that mean? I'm like, the biggest thing there is the trucking business, because there's 5 truck stops there, and I mean that's just what it's there for. It's like the last main stop before Albuquerque if you're a trucker. And so, you know, like growing up, there was a bunch of dudes I grew up with have CDLs and shit like that. But yeah, growing up in a truck stop town, so every time I meet a trucker, I'm like, you ever been to Moriarty? They're like, and nobody ever has anything good to say about it.
I didn't even know that's the way you said that.
Yeah, it pisses me off because everybody's like, every time I hear a story about New Mexico or Albuquerque or Moriarty or wherever, unless it's Santa Fe or Taos, nobody has good shit to say about New Mexico.
What's the story behind Truth and Consequences? Truth
or Consequences used to be named Hot Springs, New Mexico.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it used to be named Hot Springs. But in I can't remember what time frame it was, there was a TV show called Truth or Consequences. And they were like, if you will name your town after the show, we'll come shoot it in your town. So Hot Springs, New Mexico, changed their name to Truth or Consequences.
No shit.
So and they only shot like 1 episode there, but now it's just Tier C. Yeah, that's what we call it. We call it Tier C.
Oh, okay.
So like I knew growing up, I knew a bunch of people from Tier C and shit like that, and yeah, but it's.
Why don't they just go back to Hot Springs? Like, oh, that didn't work out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like New Mexico doesn't have a lot going for it, so it's like, yeah, we got a town named after a game show. Pretty cool.
There's a town called Y, New Mexico.
Y, WHY. Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up little towns.
You know the story behind that?
Nuh-uh.
So there's a road and it splits off and it makes a Y.
Makes a Y, yeah.
And so they try to name the town the letter Y, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And then I guess the U.S. government was like, "No, we need 3 letters from you." So like, Y.
Dude, there's so many little towns like that. Like growing up, you'd be like, hey, where you from? Be like, man, I'm from Corona. And you're like, I know where Corona's at. Or they're like, I'm from Corona or Willard, or I'm from Magdalena. There's like so many tiny little towns in New Mexico that it's like there's a thriving community there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I used to rodeo with dudes from Quemado. Quemado is a tiny little town in New Mexico, and it's like no shit 2 hours from like a Walmart.
Yeah.
But I grew up with I grew up and I rodeoed with dudes that grew up in Quemado, and they would be like, yeah, and they just like grew up on ranches and shit. Like it's crazy to me because there's a lot of dudes here in Texas and even in like in Oklahoma, they're like, it's like the different levels of anything, right? There's different levels of comics. There's different levels of cowboy.
Yeah.
Like the cowboys I grew up with are fucking like old school. Like, dude, I didn't use an electric branding iron until I was like in Oklahoma. Like we still like made a fire, drug it to the fire, had fucking, had old school irons and shit like that. Like you would use a 4-wheeler to like hook up like a little trailer to pull hay or something like that. But everything was like off of horseback. Yeah. And I mean, just like punchy motherfuckers. And there's no like small ranches in New Mexico. Like here, it's so green and so lush that if you have 500 acres,
you could do something with it.
Yeah, if you have 500 acres, you can run 50 head of cattle on that. No problem. Probably, right? I mean, depending on where it's at and if there's water, there's a bunch of...
You probably need like a 30, 40 acres per head out there.
Oh, yeah. It's great. So, like, when I was in... So, we have a small ranch in Oklahoma, and it's like you can run one cow-calf for every 5 acres or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. It's pretty lush. There, it's like you can run one cow-calf for every 20 acres. Yeah. Because it's a lot of grandma grass, a lot of fucking sagebrush, shit like that. So, like, one of my best friends, I actually have a tattoo on my thigh of a fish and his wedding date because I got drunk at his wedding and I tattooed my thigh. But,
yourself?
Yeah. I got a badass picture I'll show you. And, but his wife now, their family owns like there's some of the biggest landowners in New Mexico, and it's like, this is how big it is. I was driving to go to their wedding. Their wedding was on the ranch, and it was at one of the camps. And they also do like guided elk hunts and shit like that. So there's a lot of different avenues of revenue. But I get off the main highway, cross a cattle guard, drive like 30 minutes, cross another cattle guard, drive 15 minutes, and I'm at the ranch house. And I remember asking my buddy Josh, I'm like, hey, how big of... I was like, what property do they own? And he's like, oh, from the cattle guard to here. And I was like, oh, okay. So who owns that stuff from the highway? He goes, no, that's what I said, from the cattle guard here. From that first cattle guard to there, they owned all of that land. And it was just, I mean, it's like hundreds of thousands of acres there. And it's crazy. I mean, it's just so much fucking land in New Mexico.
You know what they call cattle guards in Canada?
What?
Have you ever heard that?
What?
Texas gates.
Texas gates, really?
Yeah.
That's fucking interesting. Is it one of these things you're fucking with me, or is that a real thing?
I mean, I've never been to Canada, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough, dude.
Yeah. They call cattle guards up in Canada Texas gates.
How fucking rank of a picture is that, dude?
It used to be fat, dude.
Still am. Still am, dude. Dude, that's one of my favorite fucking...
That's a rowdy fucking
That's
picture.
A rowdy picture, dude.
You should take the black part and like find something cooler
to put over my dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like this one, I like this one a lot more, dude. This one's fucking just dialed in, dude. See my dick and balls. I'm wearing these same underwear right now.
Pretty big tattoo, no?
I mean,
that one. Never mind.
Yeah, so I did pals on one. I let him tattoo pals on one leg.
Jesus.
And then on the other leg, I did the Jesus fish. How fucking cool is that, though, huh? Pretty sick. Pretty fucking sick. Do they call them Texas gates?
Yeah. Yeah, it's up in Canada. Saskatchewan.
Oh, yeah.
Encyclopedia of Saskatchewan. How does a Texas gate work? Get out of here. Just drive over it. Who would Google that? You ever been through a bump gate? Yeah. Something. Do y'all use those over there? Or
no, not really.
I don't think those. I've never seen them.
I've seen them once, and they're not very common.
Yeah, they're not very.
Wait, that's the one where you just kind of hit it with your bumper, and it fucking swings open, and then it's like on a spring or something like that, and it swings closed.
It's almost like it's a gag on people that aren't from the area, like from South Texas, because I've only ever seen them in South Texas.
Yeah.
And people that have never been through them or whatever, they don't know how to handle them. It's like usually when you at a decent ranch, you'll see a bump gate, and then there'll be like a gate, like an actual gate but it's locked.
Yeah.
So you gotta get off and open it. But if you know what you're doing, you can just drive through a bump gate. Like even with a trailer, you know what you're doing, you can get through it.
Yeah.
And my roommate used to manage a hunting camp on the King Ranch, and he had a contractor come in and drill a water well or build some fence or whatever. And he said that he tells the contractor, hey, there's a bump gate, don't use it. Or if you have somebody with you,
just have them hold it open.
Have them hold it open for you, drive through. But do not drive through it. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to tear your shit up.
Yeah.
The guy's, I'm John Wayne. I've been through everybody. God
damn.
And my buddy said that when he pulls up to the camp, because he had to go to town for whatever reason, he pulls up to the camp later that day, the driver's side of his truck is just fucking trashed. And so he asked him, like, hey, what happened? He's like, well, I think something's wrong. So why? He's like, he said he bumped it, but he bumped it too fast.
Yeah.
And it slapped the trailer, and then just started teeter-tottering, and he's driving, so he just fucking bam, bam. Fucking idiot.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude, it's, yeah, we don't have them don't have a lot of experience. I just have seen them before, you know?
They're strange to look. If you've never seen one, I guarantee they're fucking strange to look at.
Yeah. Because, you see them, you're like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Dude, what I really find fascinating is the, like a shared land, like a shared lease or something like that, when it's got multiple locks on it. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's like, but it's got like a wheel of just locks, and it's like, oh, your lock will unlock this, but someone else's won't, and stuff like that. And I'm like, just the amount of ingenuity that these motherfuckers go through for a locked gate.
How like genius but simple it is. Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I know multiple ranches too that have that. It's like a big barrel.
Yeah.
And like, so the contraptions on the inside of it, you're not gonna go and cut it. Like, there's no way without. If you have a torch, you can get through anything. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
But you're not gonna get. You can cut it open and get to it, but like with general tools, you're not gonna cut through it, right?
Right.
So it works out pretty good. I mean, I guess you can cut the lock, but even that, like, I've seen them to where there's so much, like, the way you lock them, and there's no room to cut.
Yeah. I mean, dude, locks are really just to keep an honest man honest.
Yeah.
If you're a thief, you can get through fucking anything, dude.
I know multiple ranches that I've been to, and they have one of those wheels, right? And you turn the deal, you can lift it up to unlock the gate, and they're like, all right. The yellow lock, it's cut just enough where you don't have to unlock it. You can position the lock, and you can just kind of slide it up and open it up. And like, it's kind of like their gate code or whatever they call it, like their clicker. Version of having a clicker. And,
man, dude, it's kind of funny growing up, like the directions you'd get to somebody's place.
Oh yeah.
Like my buddy Cody, I remember when he was like, "Hey, you're gonna get off on exit this," and he's like, "You're gonna go past 3 cattle guards. And then you're going to pass a windmill on your right, and then you're going to take the second left." And you're like remembering all this shit, and you're like, fuck, how the fuck am I going to do that? And then, like, sure as shit, it's like a little scavenger hunt. You're like, boom, boom, boom. Nope, there's the 3 cattle guards. And you're like, oh, there's a windmill. And then
I just delivered horses a couple of days ago to 3 different ranches out in Larkspur, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, one place is like, all right, the address the address you'll have is going to take you here. But we're actually over here and this and that. And I'm like, fuck, all right. And then, so you're getting direction. And these people are awesome, right? They gave me the best information they could. But it's like, dude, this is such a fucking hassle. Like, yeah, there's going to be a silo, or a grain elevator, whatever. And then you're going to take a left here, and there's going to be that. So you're like, I've seen like 4 of those. Which one, like, where did I fuck up?
Right, yeah.
Oil field directions is the same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you're going to see an old broke-down roustabout truck. If you see that, you've gone too far. And get out of there.
There's a big guy beating his wife.
Yeah, and you're like, okay.
Take left.
No, it's the second guy beating his wife on the right. That's me. That's me.
Oh, shit.
Dude, it's, we're probably going to get a little gay here, but, like, cowboy wisdom, like, old school cowboy wisdom is real, like, interesting to me. Like, like one time the dude who taught me at a rodeo, he's chock full of bullshit and cowboy wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
But he was like, he told me one time, he goes, Mav, never walk barefoot through a horse stall. And I was like, okay, why? He goes, that's how you get tuberculosis. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's fucking not. That's not how you get tuberculosis. What the fuck are you talking about? But there's like so many of those old school like cowboy wisdoms of like you know, you can have a guy that went to vet school, and you know he can look at a horse or something like that, and you know he can tell you like the scientific reasons of why he's colicked or whatever, right? Or you can just like talk to an old cowboy and be like, yeah, man, that hay was too hot and he twisted a gut, and you're like, what? Be like, oh, there's the protein content of his alfalfa was too high and it caused him abdominal stress to where his stomach turned over. And you know, it's like they just know, you know. And
okay, I'm not gonna spell it out for you, but that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's funny to me, like during this whole COVID thing, whenever people were taking ivermectin, and they're like can you believe people are taking horse dewormer? I'm like, I guarantee there's some cowboy in West Texas who takes ivermectin once a week. And he's been doing it for 40 years.
Ain't been sick a day.
Ain't been sick a fucking day in his life, because you're like, they just like, no. It's such common sense. It's such a common sense way of life that it's just so fucking simple. You know, it's like.
Well, and if you think about it too, like you're exposed to so much germs and bacteria. And
oh yeah,
on a daily
dude.
basis that, you know, you're not showering every day sometimes. I know I don't. Like when I'm on the road, if I load horses, I'll drive through the night, and then I got shit to do throughout the day, unloading horses and cleaning trailers. And I won't shower for 2 days straight, you know. And I feel like I kind of don't really get that sick very often.
Right.
And but I feel like I'm at airports all the time, truck stops all the time.
Yeah.
I don't shower every day sometimes, and I feel like my immune system's like.
Well, it's because you're exposed to all that shit all the time, you know. Like, dude. A fucking like a branding or working cows or doctoring cows or anything like that, or even anything in like even rodeoing, like dude, loading like steers, calves, and cows are just the nastiest fucking things in the world. Slinging shit every, like people see cows and they're like, oh, they're so. I'm like, no, they're the biggest cocksuckers in the world. They're fucking dumb. They're a pain in the ass to move. And I remember I would like when I was steer wrestling, we'd be loading the chute. You know, we'd be loading the chute for the rodeo, for practice, whatever. And then a cow's ass and a cow's head are like pretty close together, and then that cow would just shit on that cow's head. And they're like, Maverick, that's yours. And I'm like, fuck. So I'd go over there and I'd grab the shit and throw it off. And you know, I you know, it's not washing your hands, but you just take dirt and rub it in your hands, and it gets all like the shit off, pretty much, all the wet shit at least. And then you have to go and like grab it, and it's like, yeah, there's a reason. Like, dude, my buddy Cody, dude, I knew him for over 10 years, and I could literally only remember him being sick one time, and it was like he like almost died. It was bad, and that's like the funny thing about that lifestyle is that and like blue collar dudes too. Like you shit in a porta potty enough, you're not gonna get sick very often, you know? Yeah.
That reminds me of this one time I bought a new straw hat, and like I'm not opposed to wearing my hat and it getting dirty and worn and everything, right?
Right.
But literally like within a day or two, I just bought it, and my best friend Paco, we were living in Houston at the time together, and he was boarding his horse because we lived in town. He was boarding his horse at this place that had an arena, so you could just practice, you know, team roping. Right there, and he didn't have to trailer or anything, you know. So his dad came to town. His mom and dad came to town, brought their horse because his dad heads for him. My Paco heels, and so anyways, I'm there working the chute for him, and this fucking steer, I don't know what he did exactly, but he like stepped in shit and then slung it up, and it all fucking right there in the chute, and I'm like, and it's all over my hat, it's all over me, my face. I'm like, and I have a beard too, so it's like in my beard. I'm like,
oh god damn.
And like we're gonna be out there for a couple hours, and then probably gonna like cook and stuff like. And then, it's not pleasant, but it's like not the end of the world either. But I guarantee somebody's like, I need a shower right now.
Yeah, dude, and it's funny because like you'll see, like the marriage I want is almost like a fucking day working cowboy and his wife's marriage, because that woman will fuck you. You could smell it to high heaven, and she'll be like, hey, bend me over real quick. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the amount of times I've been to like day worked or branded or whatever, and we sweaty, covered in blood, smell like shit, all this stuff. Then we go eat, and then the guy sees his wife, and she'll still like kiss him and stuff like that. Like you can't meet a girl from UT, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, you smell like cow shit. Let me give you a kiss." It doesn't work like that, man.
Dude, even chicks that like you had a dip in, and they're like, "Ugh, go brush your teeth." Like, I'm gonna brush my teeth every time I put a dip in.
Dude, I'll do it if I'm dating a girl, I'll do it out of respect. Like I'll kiss her before I put a dip in, so she's like good for a while. But if you can't kiss me when I have a dip of snuff in, I'm like, yeah, you ain't the one, baby girl. Yeah.
But your homies will always let you kiss them with a dip.
Always let your homies kiss them with a dip in. That's right. Swap it a little bit. Give them a little bit of yours, dude. Come on.
Oh, is that man? I'm doing wintergreen.
Ew. Dude, that's straight. I hate straight.
What's the worst thing you've ever dipped?
Cougar for sure.
Is that a brand? Or
yeah.
I didn't know if there was a punchline coming.
Oh no, yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I was on my way home from. I was driving from Hobbs back to Moriarty, and I was like, I'd ran out of snuff, and I was like
the Sex Panther of fucking tobacco.
Yeah, it just tastes like fucking shit. 60% of the time, it works every time. And I'd stopped in Vaughn, New Mexico, and I stopped at this little Allsubs, and for some reason they were out of Copenhagen. And I was kind of broke at the time, and I was like, hey, what's the cheapest snuff you have? And they're like, we have Longhorn, which I don't like Longhorn. And they're like, and we have Cougar. And I was like, I've never heard of Cougar. Give it to me. I think I bought it for $1.50.
That should be a sign right there.
Yeah, well, this was a few years ago when snuff was still like $5.
It's like the shit from the Copenhagen factory that like falls on the floor and they just
sweep it up. There's hair in it and shit. You're like, what, this fingernail? You're like, what the fuck is this? Dude, I have a very strong stomach. I'm pretty sure I'm lactose intolerant, gluten intolerant, and a bunch of other stuff, but I still eat it all the time because I'm like, fuck it, whatever. But I have a real strong stomach, and dude, I put a dip in, and immediately I was like, this shit is the nastiest fucking shit I've ever tasted. It was supposed to be snuff. It tastes kind of like fish. It was weird. Yeah, it was. I didn't even finish the can. I threw it away. I got to Moriarty and I bought a can of Copenhagen.
One time I bought a can. I was like somewhere random, and I just needed some tobacco. And I usually dip Copenhagen wintergreen long cut.
Yeah.
And I walk in there, and it was like one of those chicken shit stores. Like they just don't have anything.
Right.
And they're like, we got this. I think it was Copenhagen. It was like bourbon blend something.
Yeah.
All right, how bad could that be? It just did not sit well with me.
Yeah.
I put a dip in. I was like, like I started gagging to myself, and I'm like, all right, I spitting that out. That wasn't worth it.
Dude, I used to not be able to dip straight Copenhagen, like Copenhagen straight, because one time when I was in high school, I had bought a can of Copenhagen. I used to I'd get like long cut.
The silver one?
No, that's the red one. That's the red can.
Okay.
So I'd dip like wintergreen or straight or long cut or snuff, and I'd like switch between them. You know what I mean? But on this time, I was on a straight kick, and I went fishing with my brothers, and we were fishing on this little. I think it was a Pecos. I think it was like a little part of the Pecos River in Santa Rosa, and we were walking the river, right, trout fishing, and I was wearing cargo shorts, and there was one part of the river that was deeper than all the rest, and I went into about like my hip, and I came up, and I was like, oh shit, and I bring out all my shit, make sure my cell phone's fine, and then I have a can, and my can it's plastic, so I'm like, oh cool, so it's all good. And so we keep fishing and stuff. We're about to leave. We go to leave, and I open it, and it's like super wet. And I was like, and it got wet with all this fucking river water. And I was like, God damn it. And I wanted to dip bad. So I go in, and dude, I literally pull out a pinch, and it's just like dripping. And I fucking throw it in. I've never been so sick besides the first time I dipped in my entire life. And then after that, the smell of straight would like give me the fucking willies, dude. I hate it.
So back in the day, like 2014, 2015, I lived with two guys, some of my best friends, Mac Medina and my buddy Jimmy Stimson, and the two of them co-owned an offshore boat together.
Oh, okay. It
was a perfect setup for someone like me, because the best way to own a boat is to have a buddy that owns a boat, and you don't pay, you don't own it.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to have a boat. So we'd go offshore, or they would, because I wouldn't go as much as they would. I worked in the oil field and different shit, but they would go offshore all the time. And I went with them one time, and there was a can of Copenhagen or whatever it was, Grizzly maybe. It was just in the center console, and I don't remember if it was me or if it was Jimmy, but one of us like, oh, cool, grabs it and just fucking puts it, and immediately I guess it'd been on the boat for a while, and just stunk like fish. Oh, dude, bad. I don't remember if I put it in or if I smelled it after Jimmy put it in. It was gagging. I was like, oh god. Yeah. But it had been like fishified from the boat.
Fishified, dude.
Oh man, what's the most wrongly branded thing you've ever seen that you could think of?
What do you mean?
Like it's just branded the wrong way. Like it has, you think it's one thing, but it's another.
Oh, okay.
That you've come across anything, a business, product, anything.
Oh man, that's a good one, man. I feel like this is not gonna be very interesting, but I feel like I've looked up a bunch of like leather companies because I do leather work, and it'll be like oh, this like leather, but it's all leather furniture or something like that. I'm like, fuck, dude, I know I've come across something that's very that's like that it's not.
I got the other day.
Oh, with what?
I was in South Florida. So, growing up in South Texas,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can relate to this. It's just a different name. Y'all have burritos. We call them breakfast tacos.
Yeah.
Same shit. It's a flour tortilla, egg, and a protein of some sort. Bacon, sausage.
Cheese, yeah, all that. Yeah.
It's common, right? Like, for breakfast, that's my go-to. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. I got it.
They don't have breakfast tacos, like, away from the border. Like, even out in California, there's some, but not as common.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a working man's food. Like, and also, they're open at fucking 3 or 4 in the morning some places.
Yeah, so you can just get it on the way to work.
On the way to work,
yeah.
So, working out of state, out of Texas, I just crave a breakfast taco sometimes. Like, I want breakfast, but I don't want a meal. I don't want fucking, and it's all bread, right? Like, on the East Coast, pancakes, muffins.
Right, breakfast sandwich bullshit, or something like that, yeah.
I want meat. I want, like, eggs with the sausage or bacon or something. So anyways, I'm in like Wellington, Florida, kind of near Miami, and I see the sign on my phone. Actually, I see this place called the Taqueria, but it was spelled
like Tack.
Yeah, Taqueria with a Tack.
Not taqueria, it's Taqueria.
Yeah, so
hilarious.
I'm like, oh, it's white people
yeah,
taqueria,
taco shop. Yeah.
So I'm thinking Taqueria. Hell yeah, dude, they got my ass.
Fishing tackle.
No, tack shop.
Like saddles and shit like that? No shit. That's a good name for a tack shop, though. You got to admit, dude.
Not a good name for a hungry Mexican, though.
No. I was pissed off, dude.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, it upset me in the moment. I was like, what? Why the fuck would you name it that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, it's kind of catchy.
Yeah, it's very catchy, dude. The Taqueria, dude.
Dude, they got my ass good,
dude. I have a theory that the reason breakfast burritos and breakfast tacos are so like popular is because Mexicans are such hardworking people that to wake up that early and eat food, it's like, fuck that. Just let me take it with me to like the factory, the fields, wherever the fuck I'm going, But
yeah, you don't need a plate. You just fucking.
Yeah, you just gotta fucking dude. Everything like growing up in New Mexico, every meal you serve is with a fucking tortilla. Like it's, I hate corn tortillas. I'm a flour tortilla guy, dude.
I think they both have their purpose.
Sure, yeah.
And if you shop at HEB, they have a half and half. Have you tried those?
No, I would never, dude.
Pretty good.
My grandma would kick my ass.
I'll fight her, dude. I got you.
Dude, you couldn't beat my grandma's ass with 2 hands and a stick, motherfucker. I was on a job site one time. It's funny you say that because it was the breakfast taco. There's a taco lady comes to the job site. We were building this airplane hangar on an Air Force base in Oklahoma City, and this little taco truck comes, and I'm like one of the only dudes that I'm a fucking Mexican in disguise.
Yeah.
So this lady comes up, and I was like, what do you got? And she started talking and stuff like that, and I was like, I heard her say chicharrones. I was like, you have chicharrones? And chicharrones is one of my favorite burritos and food to make, Sure. But it's like, but back home, it's like you fry it in oil, and it's crispy.
Yeah.
So it's crispy on the outside, and when you do it, it's chewy on the inside. That's the best fucking chicharrones. So I was like, yeah. She's like, I was like, ¿cuántos por tres chicharrones? And she was like, $5 or whatever. I was like, done. I was like, give me 3 chicharrones like tacos. And I didn't look at them. I just took them, grabbed a drink when I went back to the Connex to go eat it. And dude, I went in there and I took a bite, and it was like slimy, and it was like I was like, you fucking cunt. I was fucking pissed, dude. It was because technically it's chicharrón, but it's not fucking like fried. It was like it wasn't fried very well either.
No, they that's a meal. They do like pork skin.
Yeah.
And then they like I don't know what they put on it. They put like a seasoning on it, and they eat it like that. It looks like onions almost.
Yeah.
Like white onion.
Yeah, it was, but where I come from,
they boil it. I think
that's what it is. Yeah, but where I come from, you take the pork belly and you
Yeah.
chop it up into like little half-inch cubes, put it in the oil, and when it fries, and you put it on a plate, and they're so fucking good. I'm fucking hungry now, dude.
Dude, there was a restaurant up in like Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And when you order queso, they give you a bowl of queso, some tortilla chips, and then chicharrones, like crispy.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever dipped chicharrones in the queso?
I can only imagine.
The combination of that crispy, crunchy with the queso, oh my goodness.
Fuck, it's probably so good, dude.
It's
God
delicious.
damn it.
Incredible.
I got to go to the fucking butcher's after this, the meat market after this. I might go get some pork belly, dude. They're like, hey, bro, give me some pork belly. I'm making fucking chicharron.
It's funny how all the cultures have like their own versions of the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, like pork rinds and chicharrones. Like,
it's the same shit, yeah.
Similar, yeah.
But different, yeah. I mean, chicharrones just have a little bit more meat on them. But, dude, there's a fucking... I gotta get going soon, but there's the best fucking chicharron burrito I've ever had. If I was on death row, it'd probably be my last meal. It's, there's a place in Albuquerque, not in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There's one in Los Alamos and one in Espanola, and it's called Parasol. The umbrella. And the umbrella.
One last question before you leave. You die, go to heaven.
Okay.
What's your welcoming to heaven concert lineup? It can be musicians that are
Ooh,
past,
that's a good fucking yeah, dude.
musicians that are past or
Yeah.
current. What's your and you get, let's say you got a headliner, a middle act, and an opener.
Okay. John Prine is somewhere in there.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I just want him to sing fucking When I Get to Heaven. Dude, like walking up. John Prine's opening.
Angel from Montgomery.
Oh, dude. John Prine, definitely one of them. Oh, yeah, gotta have like I don't know why, but like I like Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and all those guys. So maybe one of them.
And they could still be alive too, or it could be someone's past.
Oh yeah, fuck, dude, definitely. All right, the fucking Coulter Wall. And I've seen Coulter Wall in concert. Old Tyler Childers.
Oh
yeah. Before like Hallelujah came out, I think that would be kind of cool. John Prine, and then fuck, I don't know, man. That's a good one. Probably like Johnny Cash, maybe. Something like that.
And what's the order there?
Oh, dude. So John Prine's opening.
Okay.
Like when I walk up, fucking John Prine's singing "Angel from Montgomery," and then Tyler Childers would be on, and then I'd let Johnny Cash fucking close it out. What about you? What would yours be?
Oh man.
Probably Towns. You probably have Towns Van Zandt there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't want to disrespect anybody either. That's you have all these legends. Who's gonna open for who?
Dude, literally, can
you just swap songs like in the moment?
Oh fuck! Hold on, I need to change my answer. I'm getting Tyler Childers out of there, and I want Robert Johnson.
Oh, from like the 30s.
From like the Crossroads.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in heaven because he fucking sold his soul to the devil. But
he wasn't using it.
Maybe he can make a little trip, make a little tour up to heaven to see him. But dude, I think that'd be so cool to see Robert Johnson play Delta Blues. I mean, I'm like, man, that'd be so fucking cool.
So I'd have Towns probably open. And then probably Keith Whitley.
Ooh, Keith Whitley's another good one.
Oh man.
See, there's just so many good, like Randy Travis before his stroke, That'd be a good one.
I'll probably close out with, and not because they're the superior musician or band, but for me personally, close out Marshall Tucker Band probably.
Yeah, dude.
Whenever you play that song Desert Skies, you know that one?
Yeah.
Marshall Tucker Band. I will levitate. If I'm in the if my chi is directly in the right spot, I'll fucking start levitating. So it's when I'm driving, dude, it's a problem. I gotta like put my seatbelt on. Dude, yeah, I'm telling you, that song's powerful for me.
God damn, that's a good one, dude.
This Old Cowboy and Desert Skies, those two songs are like, I can just listen to them over and over. Dude, it never gets old.
You know what you should do for your fans? You should put together a driving playlist, like your driving playlist.
Dude, that's fucking solid.
Yeah.
Because I legitimately have people that reach out to me for music.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I'm out. What do you got? And I'm like, what are you feeling? What are you in the mood for?
Dude, yeah.
Dang it.
You should definitely for like, have your followers fucking look up your Spotify, make a Spotify playlist of.
Dude, that's fucking solid.
Of music, yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Hey, dude, not just a hat rack, you know what I mean?
Hey, come on.
Hey, come on.
Dude, that's a good. I like that. I never heard that before. Not just a hat rack.
Oh, my dad says that to me all the time, dude.
Hey, that's fucking solid.
I'm like, that's smart. He goes, not just a hat rack, son. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, shall I let you get out of here?
I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta go make chicharrones.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Dude,
thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I gotta pee. Oh, fuck. Dude, that fucking